Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy. And like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Pisces energy. You know, the things that how we think and how we feel when we have hope and faith and belief in our dreams, when we're motivated and inspired to face our fears and move forward in life differently. That's high vibe Pisces energy. And there's going to be some people in the world who are in that energy right now. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy Pisces energy. We've all got our dualistic nature. Some people are struggling within themselves. It's hard to move forward in life differently. We have to face our fears. We want to stay in our comfort zone. We'd like the jobs, friendships, and relationships we're in to work out the way we dreamed. So some people are battling within themselves about moving forward, but at any given moment in time, some people are moving forward and some other people aren't. You know, we're all ready to move forward at different times in our life. We're ready to face our fears at different times. We view life differently at different times. Oh, okay. It just kind of seem like a few, but I guess it's not too many. Okay, let me turn the camera down for you so you can see. Okay, the reason for the top rose reading is the Two of Pentacles, which can talk about being balanced within yourself. The reason for the bottom rose reading is the Ten of Pentacles. The tens in tarot talk about like something has come to completion, like a way of living life, just like when we're age 15, going to age 18, age 21, age 25. You know, we complete a cycle and it's time to pick up our investment in that old cycle to get more balanced within ourselves about starting the next phase of life. But some people maybe are still finishing up a cycle. Some people want to keep living life the way they've done it. Ten of Pentacles being earth sign energy. You know, it's hard to change our world. It's hard to change how we live life. And it can take a lot of motivation, inspiration, something dramatic may be happening to sometimes get some people to budge, and some people refuse to budge. They're very happy living their life the way they live it, and that's their free will choice. And if we get in a workplace or a family dynamic, which is what the Ten of Pentacles can refer to, and we're happy with it, we don't want to change it. Sometimes some people in those workplaces, friendships or family dynamics, that's not really their thing. You know, maybe they feel they've reached their full potential there because life's about learning lessons. And some people are happy. I've learned all the lessons I can learn here, but I keep wanting to live my life like this. And other people are like, you know, I've learned everything I was meant to learn there. And now I'm ready to pick up my investment in that and learn more things. And some people aren't motivated to learn more things. People don't want to step out of their comfort zone, don't want to face their fears, and other people do. So sometimes we can find that within workplaces, families, and romantic relationships, we're kind of in different places at different times. Some people, the Ten of Pentacles in shadow, can represent people are very much aligned with their worldly nature and their more materialistic nature or a more worldly view of life. And other people could have a more, you know, I do want those things of the world, but not at the expense of my more loving, intuitive, creative nature. I want a balance of both. And some people don't want a balance. It's all about the money or the ego or the indulgence or the addiction or, you know, whatever it is that they think is the way they want to keep living their life. And other people, because shadowy energy can mean that people are kind of tipped out of balance in some way, and other people want to have those things of the world, but I also want truth and love and justice and fairness and deep, meaningful relationships, and to be in jobs and friendships with people that I really enjoy, that motivate me and inspire me to continue to heal and grow and mature myself. And other people are like, no, I'm good. I'm happy. Also, for starting with the top row, some of you could have been dealing with Capricorn. because it's also the reason why the reading came out. You could harness your Capricorn energy differently. Capricorn energy can be about what we view as victorious and a legacy. Some people are all about the ego and the image or indulging themselves. Other people want, more balance. Again, well, what about a loving, supportive, encouraging uh relationships in my life? And some people are like, I don't care about that as much. I'm more about this. And, you know, otherwise, the Two of Pentacles can talk about how you feel like people juggle. They could create the impression that they're motivated by love and moving forward in life. But then you kind of find out the truth that they're really more about living life the same way they've lived it. Some of the people that you wanted to have maybe move forward with you in your life aren't willing to pick up their investment in a foundation that they could be kind of codependent on. It could be their original family, it could be their friend group, it could be their work, and it kind of has them tipped out of balance, but they don't want to pick up their investment in it. And, if we're talking about a romantic relationship, even if somebody wants to marry someone, even if somebody did marry someone, even if they created a family with those people, some people still juggle back and forth. I'm not willing to become more independent to make the people I'm in a romantic relationship with, or that I'm going to marry, or that I have created a family with, I'm unwilling to make them the priority of my life because I kind of have divided loyalty. And I might be codependent on some other people in my life or even the world. Sometimes people jug their love relationships and their family against the world. It's kind of like, I kind of really want to make my life about the world, but I want to be in a relationship with you. And so, they can't decide what they want. We have this dualistic nature, but there's still a lot of people in the world that haven't picked a path. Am I more motivated by truth and love and justice and fairness and listening to my intuition to guide me, or am I more about the world and myself or my ego or money? And some people never make a choice, and other people say, you know what, you can keep juggling whoever you want, I'm leaving. And I'm going to move forward with the people in my life who have chosen balance and aren't codependent on the world or other foundations in their life and are ready to live a more balanced life. Like, I can have my original family, I can have my friend group, I can have my work group, but I maintain balance within my life. And in high vibe Capricorn energy would be, I've freed myself from things that manipulate me to choose like justice and fairness and balance. And some people aren't there yet. They could still have a lot of things that manipulate them and people in their life that manipulate them. And so some high vibe people said, that's okay, you do that. And with the first card coming out, they probably cut these people out of their life because they harness this energy in a shadowy way. And the high vibe people harness this energy in a high vibe way. Four of Cups in reverse. When a card is in reverse, it can mean extremes. And the Four of Cups can talk about, I feel like I missed an opportunity, or I would miss an opportunity. Like, I don't want to commit to someone because maybe there's other people that then would ignore my love offer. So I don't want them to feel ignored, and I'm not willing to make a choice, so I'm not going to. And there are people who could be, don't ever take that cup of love to work through the emotional confusion of it. And so some people decided, you know, I don't, I no longer view you as a missed emotional opportunity. I've let you go to go live your life the way you want. And that's what some people don't realize, is that some people got out of feeling sad about the fact that someone wasn't willing to offer them a cup of love to move forward with them in a more balanced way. Some other people have took that cup of love to get over feeling sad, and they no longer feel sad. It takes time, and they would have done this work within themselves, but that's what Capricorn energy can be about. Capricorn is earth sign energy. So regardless of what zodiac sun sign people are, the people who are able to get over past disappointment, pain, heartbreak, whatever, they put in the work in Virgo energy to go within, to think about from the 2 to the 10, the difference is the 8 of Pentacles. Are these the people I want to keep investing my time, energy, and effort into and moving forward with in whatever relationship I have with them? And they did the inner work to also work through their fears and their insecurities and their self-limiting beliefs, and kind of thought about some people who didn't seem to want to invest in them emotionally or haven't learned to love themselves. And they did the work within themselves to get balanced within themselves. That, if there's some people in my life that are more about the world or their indulgence or their ego or motivated and inspired by different things, or, I'm not going to keep investing time, energy, and effort into them because we're motivated and inspired by different things. My dreams and ultimate dream life I have envisioned for myself is different than what they dream of maybe for themselves. And the high vibe people quit working with those people, or quit that job, quit investing time and energy into those people. And some of the people that they have detached from don't realize that they're not sad about the situation anymore. And then we have the 3 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Swords comes after the 2 of Swords. The 2 of Swords can be about being stuck. Well, why'd those people act like that? Why didn't those people offer me love? Why didn't those people take my cup of love? Why weren't those people willing to work cooperatively with me? And for a long time in the 2 of Swords, we can stay stuck and kind of juggling, and we're kind of going back and forth. And maybe at some point in time during this process, some of you are kind of juggling. Well, I don't know. Do I want to move forward differently? Don't I want to move forward differently? And the whole thing is, we go through that process to get to the truth. And high vibe 3 of Swords is that I have worked through my mental confusion about it to get to the truth and to get balance within myself about the truth. Some people aren't on the same page as me. Some people are more codependent than I am. Some people are more codependent on the world. Some people make their whole sense of worth and value based on how they think other people perceive them. And their whole life is about trying to present this presentation to the world to make the world view them a certain way. And that can be the most important thing to them. High vibe energy is about being independent. I know my worth and value. You can think what you want because you're going to think what you want anyway. I know my worth and value. I know how to fill my own cup emotionally. I've seen through the illusion. I'm not confused about the truth. People are going to think what they want to think about you based on the type of person they are. And shadowy energy can be still being caught up in the illusion, the most important thing is how they think other people view them and making their life about that. And they also, can be all these things in the world that they want to indulge in that they think will make them happy. And some of you people have already indulged in those things of the world, and you know that that wasn't the truth. The truth is, it's supposed to be about love. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles, which is knowing your worth and value. Feeling stable and grounded and independent within yourself. And again, some people are maybe more about conforming to the world than being more independent, to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams and, we all live in the world, and we all can have this pressure on us in the world to, well, you're supposed to wear this, and you're supposed to drive that, and you're supposed to look like this. And that's when we determine, and it's all so much in our own mind, but it is kind of the rhetoric that's kind of spread in the world. If you wear this, if you drive that, we'll view you as a successful person. It's like, you know what? I can wear and drive and be whatever I want to be. High vibe people treat other people the way they like to be treated. They're just, they're fair, they're authentic, they're loving, they're warm. It's like if people have a problem with that, then you go have a problem with it and go find other people to hang out with. And other people haven't freed themselves from that illusion, and they're all caught up in it. So some other people saw the truth. They realized they needed to be more independent from the world, from some other people in their life who are maybe kind of more about the world or themselves, because shadowy energy can be our ego, which can be immaturity, bossy, controlling, petty, envious, jealous, vengeful, egotistical, materialistic. It's just all these shadowy energies, instead of having come to a place of healing from past pain and heartbreak, learning lessons in life, growing and maturing yourself, and seeing the truth that life is an adventure to be lived. And it's about learning to love ourselves and free ourselves from how we manipulate ourselves in our fear and our insecurity and our self-limiting beliefs and the things of the world and other people. And high vibe people are from the 2 to the 9, well, from the 10 to the 9, because we all could have been living our life in a certain way, is what the more worldly, shadowy energy can be. And then high vibe people kind of completed a cycle, and from the 9 to the 10 to the 9, they let go of the Ace of Pentacles. It's like, I don't want to keep investing and living my life like this anymore. I'm ready to go to kind of like the next phase of life. So from the 10 down to the 2, they let go of putting in work and effort into continuing to live their life that way. And maybe from the 9 to the 2, kind of let go of a 7 of Pentacles, which can be just a way of viewing life, because the 7 of Pentacles is Taurus energy, and our Taurus energy within us is kind of like our Supreme Court in our head of our philosophy of life. And we live a certain phase of life because that's where we're at in our life. And then when we've kind of completed that cycle and feel like we've learned everything we needed to learn from that phase of life, then we quit investing in that phase of life. And we've kind of just ready to move forward to invest in something new, a new way of looking at life, a new way of how we view ourselves, a new way of feeling that we're capable. But just like we did, age 15 to age 18 to age 21 to age 25, we had to face our fears and insecurities to quit investing in an old way of living life, to believe that, I think I'm ready for the next phase of life. I'm ready to face my fears. I'm putting in work and effort to know my worth and value and believe in my dreams, and maintaining balance within myself to look for some new way of how I want to move forward in life. Just like we did back then. I'm going to go get a driver's license. I'm going to go get my first job. Then later, I'm going to go get a different job. We do that process throughout our life. And some people, it could have been sad that maybe some of the people or jobs that they had been at, that they weren't going to keep investing in some of those friendships or hanging out and doing things in their life the way they did, or a job. And it was sad, but the fire energy of the 3 of Wands is kind of, I feel like, listening to your intuition. And if your intuition is telling you it's time to go, there's nothing, or just to face your fears, to put yourself out there more, do some work on some of your fears and insecurities, to drop that baggage. It could just be that. I want to feel more free of some things that have been weighing me down. And they did this work within themselves to work through some of those things. Maybe it was things in life where feeling like, thinking about the people in your life who maybe weren't very loving or weren't very balanced or were maybe wanting to be single and make life all about themselves or are kind of more about themselves or, just have some shadowy traits and characteristics. The people who have learned lessons in life have learned to be just and fair and open and honest and loving. And, when we kind of wrap our brain around that, it's like, I'm going to quit feeling sad about the fact that I could have dealt with some people that had some healing to do, had some maturing to do. And I'm not going to let people who might have been in negative energy or just didn't choose to be in a relationship with me or be my friend or hire me, because some of those people are loving people also. You just have different dreams. So it's like, I'm not going to let it put me in negative energy or keep me in negative energy. I'm just going to deal with the truth of it, maintain my balance, know my worth and value, keep believing in myself and my dreams, and listen to my intuition. And the things that I need to let go of, I will let go of. Things within myself. There's certain people in my life that aren't conducive to my dreams coming into reality, or they're not willing to invest in me, or they kind of juggle or can't make a decision. I wish them peace and I let them go too. And I'm going to maintain balance as I move forward, looking to the future, investing my time, energy, and effort into things and people that I think are aligned with my truth. So let's go look at the bottom row. We have the Five of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Seven of Wands. Now, the Ten of Pentacles can also, I think I mentioned it. The Ten of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles is Virgo energy. People can harness their Virgo and their Capricorn and their Pisces energy differently. What are people's dreams? Some people's dream and what they view as a victorious and successful or a legacy that they think they can be proud of. For some people, it isn't being more independent and balanced in the world. For some people, it is conforming to the world or making your life all about money and materialism and status and image. The Five of Wands, the fives in tarot, we have the Five of Wands and we have the Five of Swords. The fives can talk about change. And some people have a lot of inner conflict about maybe starting fresh and new, being a student of life. Some people like to live their life the way they see their family before them did it, or everyone else in their life that they might know, or at least in their mind, how they think they're living their life. And they have a lot of inner conflict of like detaching from a way of viewing life or living life to start fresh and new, because that would maybe require them to deal with their mental conflict about maybe being more balanced and picking up their investments in the past of how they used to view life and how they've lived life to maybe get more balanced. And maybe they've always kind of lived their life definitely more tipped. I mean, I think we all do initially. When we're young and really young and we're children, I think we're much more aligned with our hopeful, believing nature. But we live in the world and we kind of get indoctrinated by the world, and we tend to end up making our life more about the world, and we can kind of maybe be a little more tipped out of balance for a lot of our younger life. And once, we all like to stay in our comfort zone and we always like to keep doing things the way we've done it. So they have inner conflict about doing things differently. Because the Five of Swords also talks about our dreams that we had and the way we kind of viewed life. And that would kind of require them to maybe quit putting work and effort into a way of viewing life that they viewed as the dream, the way to live your life, as victorious or successful. And they'd have to get more balanced within themselves. And then they'd have to, the Three of Pentacles can talk about working more cooperatively with maybe their loving nature, because the Chariot is Cancer energy. And some people have really aligned with their much more worldly nature, which I view as kind of living more from your mind than your heart. And they'd have to start kind of working more cooperatively with their worldly nature and their loving nature and their creative, inspired nature. And for some people, that makes them really defensive in the Seven of Wands. And just some people have more fear of stepping out of their comfort zone. Some people are very hard, to change our philosophy of life in a way, and how we view life and how we view relationships and how we work together with people in a workplace, how we view friendship groups and how we generally work within friendship groups, how we view romantic relationships and family relationships and how we normally do that. Some people never were in relationships with people who are more high vibe Cancer energy, where people are more emotionally balanced, and in Seven of Wands, fire energy of Leo, more maybe tipped into their more loving, creative, inspired, intuitive nature, and warm and balanced and loving. And they could be used to working with people who everybody kind of invested in this worldly view of life. And everybody had inner conflict about doing life differently. So they just tried to maintain balance within themselves and the people that they worked with, about the fact that they were choosing, and the decisions of who they decide to get in relationships with and who they decide to work for and who they become friends with could have all been more ego-based, worldly-based, image-based, materialistically based. And the thought of moving forward in life differently, where it would maybe require them to get in the driver's seat of their own life and love themselves and say, I don't want to be tipped out of balance and manipulated by the world anymore, or maybe the people in my life who want me to keep living my life like that, and I'd have to stand up for myself and what I believe in. Yeah, that's enough to keep some people living their life the way they do. Again, they could have friends, and we all have this dualistic nature, and some of the people that, we have different people in our life, but if someone is more worldly focused and ego focused and image focused, they probably, or got addictions or whatever it is that they're kind of prioritizing in the world over being more balanced and moving forward in love. Whenever the feminine figures in tarot can talk about how we think and how we feel, and the masculine figures can talk about how we present ourselves in the world, and it can all, because we all take action in masculine energy, because not, we can present ourselves any way we want, and people don't know the truth of how we think and feel. And so then when we see a masculine card, especially in shadowy energy here, it could be people operating more from their ego nature, whether they're a male or a female. And they have their back turned to the Chariot, unwilling to detach and move away from their more worldly view of life, and then the people in their life that they've probably been hanging out with that live their life that way, and loving themselves enough to get out of their inner conflict. Here we go from the Five of Wands to the Seven of Wands, taking back a Two of Wands. I used to have a dream And we all at one time got caught up in things of the world, thinking the things of the world or indulging in the things of the world was the answer to all our problems. It would make us happy. If we just indulge in those things or had those things, we'd be happy. Because that's what the world kind of tells us, right? Drink this, eat this, get married, you'll magically be happy. But people weren't kind of, again, they could have made those decisions in their life more out of ego or fear or codependency or something, which we've all been there. And we really hadn't gotten in the driver's seat of our own life, and we hadn't learned to love ourselves and really believe in ourselves and standing up for ourselves. And that's why, we've all gone through this phase, and we can repeat it many, many times until we we come into contact with all these different people to help us get clear about our truth, till we finally do get, you know, either I want to move forward in life differently, or I'm more motivated by love. Some of the people I'm in relationship with aren't as motivated by love. I want a more emotionally balanced, creative, inspired relationship. And maybe some of the people I came in, we learn lessons throughout our life. So I'm sure from all the different people you've been in relationships with, you've moved away from some people because of their immature, they have inner conflict they don't deal with, they got mental conflict, they juggle, don't know if they want to invest in a relationship, more focused on the world or themselves or ego or something. And then we move away and we stand up for what we believe in, and then we go get in other relationships. And then depending on how that relationship goes, if the people we get in a relationship with us, if everybody is motivated and inspired to change, and everybody listens to their intuition, and everybody is working from a place of love, when people start to realize, I think we've kind of learned everything we needed to learn here. I think I'm ready for a change. Are you ready for a change? And the other people say yes. And everybody does the work to temper their fears and insecurities, and maybe tell some people in their life that, we're going to start moving forward in life a little differently, and maybe don't hang out with certain friends that you used to hang out with. And then you both come up here. And even though there could be some sadness about some people you're maybe not going to hang out with, or maybe you're moving, that, it's just that, we were ready to claim our independence because we have a dream. And there might be some things that we no longer invest time and energy. There might be certain activities we don't really participate anymore because maybe we just want to pick up a new hobby and a new activity. We've done that one every weekend for the last 10 years. Now we want to go do this on the weekend instead. It can be all those things. And when people, some people keep staying and being defensive, and they keep kind of repeating a pattern over and over, and they can be tempted to keep staying in it because, you have the friend group, you have the job, you have the relationship, those people and things are still willing to move forward with you, so you could keep doing those things in your life. And we could be defensive to letting that foundation go in the Tower card. So people keep staying in it. Also, if they were to detach from some of those foundations, the Tower talks about revealing the truth of a foundation that, like, this isn't seeming to be aligned with my truth anymore. Or maybe me and the people that we were in a relationship with, maybe there was some conflict going on. Maybe one person, wanted to change and the other person didn't want to change. And then the other person in there, maybe Three of Pentacles is Capricorn energy, maybe they wanted to keep doing it this way and the other person wanted to move forward. And so it could have caused some conflict and fighting. And you kind of don't like other people to know your business, and by worldly standards, it looks good. So for a period of time, some people aren't ready to move forward differently because they're not willing to reveal the truth yet. But I think if we find ourselves in a mismatched relationship, sometimes, sadly, when some people know that you love them and that you're not willing to kind of stand up for what you believe in, it's kind of like power corrupts. And so then they think, oh, I don't think they'll leave. So sometimes we get ourselves in relationships with people who don't like the fact that we are kind of more emotionally balanced, have healed, know our worth and value, are kind of more independent, that we are maybe starting to stand up for ourselves more in a workplace, friendship, or relationship. And some people then don't like that, and it causes them inner conflict. Why do you seem more healed or grown or matured or hopeful or believing than I do? We all used to be on the same page, but you seem to have changed. You are different than the group. You're not conforming to the group or the way I view life or the way I view relationships. And then sometimes those people will try to manipulate people to keep staying in the foundation, and instead of being truthful and honest and just and fair, you've changed. You seem like you're being more independent. You seem like you've healed. You seem like you seem more balanced within yourself. Why not be happy that the people in your life feel that way? But some people don't like it because you are changing. You are becoming more grounded, maybe, and stable within yourself and hopeful and believing within yourself, and they're not there in that energy. So then sometimes those people will try to manipulate people and purposely do things to try to destabilize them in a way. I know. I don't like the fact that this person seems to be moving forward in life differently, more inspired, more confident, more hopeful and believing in themselves, more healed. So then it causes them inner conflict. And instead of taking action in truth and love, it's like, I have an idea. I'm going to invest in something to cause them mental conflict. I want them maybe to feel like I'm juggling them. Like I don't know if I want to work with them anymore. Because I'm trying to get them, instead of loving and believing in themselves, I want them to focus on me. And I might do things that in shadowy kind of Aquarius energy that maybe are kind of more about me or more prideful or egotistical or to kind of put me in the spotlight and like, well, you better not move forward and love and believe in yourself because, I'm going to invest in making myself kind of standing out. And like I have maybe options. And if you keep loving and believing in yourself, like trying to make someone who loves them feel like they've got competition. That's also the Five of Wands. I'm going to make you feel like you have competition. I'm maybe going to go invest in someone who seems to shine bright in the world in some way. And I'm going to kind of juggle you and them, or this could be people they look up to in the star card. I'm going to play you against those people, my original family, my friend group, my work group, make it seem like you're kind of either or. And it's to try to get the people from stop loving and believing in themselves to put more work and effort into focusing on these people. Instead of them like, hey, you seem like you've put in work and effort to get more balance within yourself. You seem to love yourself. You seem to, have gotten free of some of the things that manipulated you. Why not join them and say, hi, how'd you do that? I've had some mental conflict. I've had some inner conflict. I'd like to feel more balance within myself. How did you do that? And then move forward with them. It was the free will choice some people had, but some people don't want to quit operating from their ego, because shadowy energy is they're already kind of operating from their ego, which is fear or insecurity. Sometimes it's just that I like to manipulate people to get them to do what I want. And I don't have any plans on letting go of my more emotionally egoic nature. This is how I function in a relationship or the workplace. So instead of being loving and encouraging to the people to love and believe in themselves, and me maybe learning lessons from them, I know instead I'm going to make a decision out of pride, ego, fear, insecurity, or whatever, that I'm going to try to do something to disrupt them and their confidence level to get them to focus back on me. And we can all have been in relationships with people who weren't very nice, weren't very kind, were manipulative, were, acting like they had options. And people will can stay in relationships with that, like that, for a long time. But it's always a risk that at one day someone's going to say, that's it. I can't stay in the Two of Swords in denial of the truth anymore. I thought this person loved me. I thought this person had my best interests at heart. But if this person always, even if it's someone who tries to get another person up in their fear and insecurity, oh, I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should move forward in that way. I think you should stay here. I don't think you should go get that other job. I don't think you should go get that further education. I don't think you should hang out with those people. I wouldn't trust them. And it can just be friends and family members who try to play on people's own fear and insecurity of their own defensive nature, of fear of moving forward with things, and then people maybe being defensive to them and juggling them. So then other people play on their fear and insecurity to stop those people from listening to their intuition and let go of listening to their intuition and the loving, nurturing, supportive people in their life that weren't trying to manipulate them. But for a long time, people don't want to see the truth about the very people in their life and the very aspects within themselves that self-sabotage them. The other people in their life are just kind of like a physical manifestation that represents their own shadow nature. And they don't want to see that they have these fears or insecurities, or they're kind of have a lot of conflict about change, or they're kind of immature, or they're kind of used to being manipulative, or they're kind of, just think because they might have money or status or power or image or social cloud or attractive, that they just think people are trying to take advantage of them, or they could just go get in a relationship with someone else. I can find another loving person. They're a dime a dozen, you know? So some people aren't ready to see the truth. The Queen of Wands can represent like the other emotional aspect within ourselves. When our foundation is operating more from our fear, insecurity, codependency, lust, greed, immaturity, blah, 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 we don't want to see the truth that we're kind of being manipulated by our more shadowy nature. And then, again, we have people in our life that are happy we're living that way. It works for them to be friends with us, or for us to work for them, or for us to be in romantic relationships with them. And we don't want to see the truth that maybe they're happy that we live our life like that. It works for them, and that maybe they really don't want us to be more independent of them and know our worth and value and believe in our dreams and be more balanced. Because then they can manipulate us. And if there are people who like to manipulate people, they don't like it. If they are people who like to be in relationships with people who are maybe have inner conflict and mental conflict, and they like to be the one who works with people who are like that, it makes them feel like very stable and grounded and wise. But then if those people become more independent and love and believe in themselves, then it's like, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. I'm going to go find someone else who has mental conflict and whatever, and then I'm going to work with that person, you know? And, and we don't want to, and sometimes we don't even see the truth of the nature of people until we do this work within ourselves and we heal and get more stable and feel more independent and have learned to love ourselves. And that's sometimes when we see people's shadow nature. Wow, why do these people in my life seem to have mental conflict about looking at life from a higher perspective and being more balanced in the relationship? Because before, you maybe weren't requiring them to be more balanced in the relationship. And maybe before, you weren't requiring justice and fairness and equal give and take, and they could kind of juggle you, but because of your own inner conflict and mental conflict and kind of being in your more codependent energy or a very loving, giving person, the other people could juggle you. And that's the kind of relationship they like. And when you started to love and believe in yourself and were standing up for yourself and wanting to be in a more just and fair and balanced relationship and be more independent and less codependent, that's when some people's shadow nature came out because they didn't like it. Because when one person in a dynamic changes, it kind of changes the whole dynamic. Because it's like people standing around throwing a ball to each other. It's like, I'll throw it to you and then you throw it to them, and I'm going to act this way and then you act that way, and then they'll act that way and then they'll act that way. And it's like this routine of how the game is played. And when one person's like, I don't like that game anymore, I don't want to do that, and my intuition is telling me to offer these people peace and love, but I've learned how to love my own inner child nature, and I want to work together with people from love because I have a dream and I'm going to speak my truth. And again, the Page of Swords is like a nice energy. It's not like I'm yelling at people or being brusque or harsh. I'm just stating my truth. I kind of feel like there's been this pattern in this situation, and it's made me feel stuck, and it's made me have this inner conflict and some mental conflict. And I did this inner work to figure out if it was something within me that was being triggered. And when I maybe did my inner work to make sure it wasn't me responding because of something just within me, and I'm at a place of like peace and love, I'm going to encourage the people I'm with to move forward with me in an emotionally balanced way, in a loving way, in an authentic way, in a more just and fair way. And that's when some people, we see the truth, they don't want to move forward that way. So, though it's painful, now we see the truth that they didn't like it when we became more independent and knew our worth and value and believed in ourselves and wanted a more just and fair and balanced relationship. And and I think you realize the people in my life that haven't taken that couple love to work together with people cooperatively or healed from their past pain and heartbreak that could make them act in a more manipulative way or worldly way or something, you realized you had to wish those people peace and quit investing in them emotionally. Because, it's like, I can know you, I can see you, you're like a social acquaintance, just like a lot of other people, but I'm not going to probably hang out with you as much as I did before. I'm not going to be in a romantic relationship with you because I have taken that couple love to heal from the past when relationships didn't work out, and you maybe haven't, because otherwise you'd maybe work together with me more cooperatively from love. And until you do that and you haven't healed that past pain and heartbreak, that's maybe what makes you maybe try to manipulate people in a relationship until you deal with your inner conflict about change or looking at life from a higher perspective and treating other people the way you like to be treated and working together cooperatively with people in love, I'm going to be defensive to your foundation, because I can't build, if we're going to build a solid foundation, it has to be built on love. Otherwise, we're trying to build a foundation on shifting sand. And if we're both motivated and inspired by different things, a house divided can't stand. So, what some people don't know is that they could have been people that for a while you feel like you missed an opportunity in love, but now you could feel like it wasn't really love anyway. It was, as long as it worked out for them or it was good for their ego or their image, but it wasn't like they had my best interest at heart. So all I've done is quit emotionally investing in someone who could have been using their emotions manipulatively in a relationship for how it benefited them at that moment in time. And did they really maybe think that? No. We all can get in relationships, and when it requires, and it can again be, they're just not ready to change yet. And it's kind of like they're staying like a 15-year-old and they still want to live that way, and you're ready to be more like an 18-year-old, just as an analogy. And you're ready to go out there in the world differently. And I think high vibe people wish people peace and love. Whatever it is that stops you from being more hopeful, believing in yourself, or loving yourself, or being more balanced and just and fair in relationships, I hope you figure it out, because we need more people on that page in the world. Okay, what's coming up? Oops. Let me move this camera. The Knight of Wands. Oh, let's see what happened. The Knight of Wands and the Six of Cups fell out of the deck. So that can mean, I'm no longer inspired to repeat this old pattern. And, the whole thing is, if we keep living, oops, that's too high. If we keep living our life a certain way, it is, the Six of Cups can be like repeating this old pattern. And I don't want to repeat that old pattern. I want to be in, and some of it could have seemed superficial and shallow. The Six of Cups can be, is Scorpio energy. It can be our more immature nature of fear of meeting new people or getting balance within ourselves. We could have kind of kept repeating an old pattern and maybe kind of indulging people. Of course, if it was a romantic relationship, we could have been attracted to them. But eventually, I don't have an interest in repeating that pattern. And now it is seeming more superficial and shallow. And I want to move forward in more deep, meaningful relationships, and where everybody's being more authentic and vulnerable and loving, instead of hiding behind their defensive nature or their egoic nature, or if they're more about the world, then we're just not even on the same page. So we'll take those out of the deck, but it is a double deck, so those cards could still be in here. What's coming up for the people who are harnessing some high vibe Pisces energy that they might not see coming up? The Seven of Swords, the Six of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Queen of Swords, because of the Eight of Swords. When we go through a process like that, it can all have us up in our head. There's a maximum of 10 in every suit. So for 8 swords up in our head, we're thinking about the Two of Cups. Like, did they love me? Did they ever love me? Whatever. And then in the Seven of Swords, it's kind of starting to work through, I can't keep staying up in a mental prison about this. So in the Seven of Swords, it's Aquarius energy, that I'm going to look at life from a higher perspective and put things in perspective of like this. Everybody is where they're at. Everybody has different lessons to learn. Everybody has different fears and insecurities. You know, people have their own things that they're kind of tied up into that maybe they can't get out of, or, you know, everybody is where they're at. And I think with kind of looking at things from a higher perspective helps people come to terms with the past. And it's like, I just accept that everybody is where they're at. I'm not going to take it personally. I mean, I think people hopefully do a little inner work to look at, how did I maybe contribute to things not working out? What is the truth maybe now that I've seen about some of the people I've been working with? And we just deal with the reality of the truth of where anybody needed to grow and heal and mature themselves, including ourselves. And then, we're all human beings. We've all got lessons to learn in life. We've all made mistakes in life. And we offer our self love and compassion and forgiveness for the mistakes we've made. And we offer love and compassion to people in our past so we can be free of it. That's like reconciling ourselves with the past. So I can let the past go. I wish them peace. But in the Page of Pentacles, I am willing to deal with my inner conflict about believing in myself and believing in my dreams and standing up for myself and what I believe in. And that's what the high vibe people are doing within themselves. And then the Five of Wands can mean, if I dealt with some people who seem to be in a mental prison about working together in a loving way, who might like to kind of be a little more deceptive and manipulative in a relationship to get people to work with them. Holding the one pentacle is like somebody who's seen the truth. I worked through all of it to get to the truth. Loving people are loving. People motivated to be just and fair are just and fair. And people who weren't in that energy and motivated to be that way weren't that way. And that's for them to figure out why. I don't have to figure it out. I just have to see the truth, that they didn't choose to be open and honest and just and fair and loving and act with character and integrity. And I'm ready. The only person I can change is me. And so I'm going to invest in changing me. And I'm going to emotionally look at life from a higher perspective, have hope and faith and belief in myself and my dreams, hope other people can heal. But while people, if they haven't healed and they still seem to be kind of deceptive or manipulative or prideful or egotistical or immature, self-centered, I'm going to keep maintaining my balance to not let someone not being just and fair and loving tip me out of balance to make me take action more out of fear or insecurity or pride or ego. I'm going to keep maintaining my balance. And then in high vibe, Eight of Swords, I'm going to keep focused on truth and love to guide my decisions. And anyone who might want to work things out with me from my past, people I meet in my present, people I meet in my future, I've learned these lessons in life that and we can all have been naive and gullible at times and think everybody's motivated to be just and fair. Everybody wants to do love. Everybody, and they don't. And we had to learn those lessons so that when our divine inheritance comes into our life, we're no longer the naive, gullible person, and we maintain our balance and knowing our worth and value and our independence, and learn to listen to our intuition when we think people are trying to kind of manipulate us, because that's not part of our dream, to be in a relationship with people like that. And I think as you move forward like that, I think there's going to be other people who see that within you. Some people, you could end up being very stable and abundant and look like a shining star in the world. Abundant and shining for a lot of different reasons. For one, you're a loving, just, and fair person, and you treat people like you like to be treated. That alone makes you a very stable, abundant, shining, your light person in the world. And there's a lot of people who'd want to be in a relationship with someone like you, but some of them just want to be the next person to deceive and manipulate you. It works for them. It's good for their ego and their image. Maybe it wouldn't be good for their ego and image if you weren't, for some of these people, if you were to not really be their friend anymore, or be in a relationship in there with them anymore, or work for them anymore, look bad on them. So some people are going to try to manipulate you and deceive you for their own reasons, but they could be people who still have inner conflict about looking at life from a higher perspective and have a lot of fears or insecurities. But, it depends on who the people are. If they're friends, you could maybe get reacquainted with them and be willing to kind of bring them back in your life to see if, and, you go through that enough times too. And eventually it's like, I'm done. I think we've went through this enough times that we know that this relationship generally seems to just be on your terms. When you want to talk, that's when we talk. If you want to create whatever impression, you create that impression. And it just gets to be where you have less and less contact with them. But, people can learn lessons. People could realize, oh, I was kind of doing some poor past patterns. I was kind of being manipulative. I was kind of making it more about me or something. If you think they saw the truth of it, you might be willing to welcome them back in your life. If it's a romantic interest, some people have hurt you so deeply that it's like, I'm glad you healed. I'm glad you learned lessons, but I have no interest in getting back in a relationship with you. And also they could have really shown just how many lessons in life they hadn't learned for some of them. And it's just like, it takes time to learn lessons. And if people were kind of hiding behind a foundation that they were very unstable and really kind of operated from their ego, and they had all this mental conflict and all this inner conflict and all these things that they never dealt with, it's like, oh my God, that's going to take you years. I hope it works out for you. When I see you out in public, maybe, no problem. We can be loving and encouraging to people to help them heal, but it doesn't mean we have to be, or not necessarily loving, but we treat them like we treat other people in the world. Just treat them the way we'd like to be treated and hope that they keep doing the work to heal. And then other people might have been in similar situations and had some lessons learned like you did. And it was all about them learning to love themselves and stand up for themselves and quit being manipulated by whatever in themselves and the world. And some of those people are on the same page as you, that are going to come towards you from your past, people you meet in your present, people you meet in your future. And you're just going to listen to your intuition about which one's which. And, we're going to learn lessons either way. That's why there's a key on either side. Life's all about learning lessons. But know your worth and value, believe in yourself and your dreams, maintain balance with yourself, don't indulge people in their poor behavior or make it more about them, and see who seems to be authentic and have that more hopeful, believing nature, who has changed and look at life from a higher perspective, and who might be being deceptive and manipulative, kind of trying to maybe tempt you in your ego or your immature nature or your lust or your greed or something. And those would be the people who don't have your best intention. What's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Pisces energy that they might not see coming up? Okay. The Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Swords, because of, we're just going to take, there was like 3, but we're just going to take this one. What is it? The Two of Swords. So, the high vibe people, again, the Three of Swords comes after the Two of Swords. The high vibe people are no longer confused about the truth. And that's something that some people who thought that they could juggle people, manipulate people, get people in their ego, cause them inner conflict, cause them mental conflict, to try to get people to do things the way they wanted it. What they didn't see coming is that these people were listening to their intuition. And they could have thought for sure, I have these people manipulated. I don't think they're going to listen to their intuition. And maybe they thought that because for a long time, maybe people weren't listening to their intuition. But at some point in time along the way, people started to do this work within themselves to love and believe in themselves because they probably got tired of feeling juggled. And they started to do this work about, why am I staying in something where I feel like people are juggling me? And they started to do this work to listen to their intuition. And now those people have seen the truth. And those people are happy. And they're stable. And they're grounded. And they've completed a cycle. That's pretty amazing. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, Pisces energy, Virgo energy, Gemini energy. Some people, it was just that they were kind of invested in these things of the world and these people in the world that they thought would be people they'd have in their life long term, that these are the people that I love, that love me, or we live our life this way, and I'm sure this is the way I want to live my life and it'll make me happy. And they realized after going through all of this and going through all their thoughts about, is this my truth or isn't this my truth? Why do I have mental conflict? Why do I feel like I'm being juggled? Are we moving forward in this relationship more because of ego and image and like money and materialism? Or is it love? I wanted to do love. It might have the money and the status and the image, but are the other people in the relationship with me because of love? Are they in the relationship more because of the ego and the image or the money or how it makes them look? I want authenticity and truth. And when some of those people started to stand up for themselves, that's when they saw the truth that the other people did not like them being more independent and detaching from their more codependent or egoic worldly nature. And the other people completed a cycle. This does not align with my truth. And those people have detached. And some of those people never thought that would happen. Because for the longest time, the people weren't, for a long time, we stay in denial of the truth in our Pisces energy. We don't want to see the truth because then we'd have to take action and speak our truth. Like, I think you're being manipulative. I think you're being bossy. I think you're kind of about yourself. I think you're more about your ego or your image than love. And, we don't want it to come to an end. So we try to offer love and encouragement and work together with people to get them to move forward with us and choose, a more loving, balanced relationship. But eventually we see the truth that they're not interested and they reject listening to their intuition because they're probably happy making their life all about the world where they don't listen to their intuition. And it is all about living from their mind and trying to manipulate and control people to get them to do what they want and to create this illusion in the world about the type of person they are in the world. And they apparently don't want to change that. So eventually the high vibe people say, I wish you peace, hope it works out for you, but I'm moving on. And that could really surprise a tower moment. Some of those people who are seeing the truth of it now. And sometimes the people who are kind of trying to manipulate people, when people initially say, I'm done, I am becoming independent of this, that's a shock. And then for the longest time, in their pride and ego, oh, I bet they won't love and believe in themselves. I bet they won't believe in their dreams. I bet they'll get caught up in their fear and their insecurity. I bet they'll come back and do the relationship the way I want. So they're still in their ego about making an offer to people, like apologizing if they need to apologize. No, 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 I'm not going to do that. I still think that I can juggle them. I think if I just wait and I turn my back on the loving people who are standing up for themselves, I bet eventually something will happen. They'll come back and want to do the relationship the way I want to do it. And that also is revealing the truth to the loving people in their life. You're not willing to quit manipulating. You're not willing to reveal the truth that you are being prideful, egotistical, manipulative, stubborn, immature, whatever, self-centered, egotistical. You just keep every day that they don't act in truth and love is another day that the other people see these people are not who they thought they were. And every day those people choose to keep thinking, oh, no, 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 I'm not going to reveal the truth. I don't want people to know that I was manipulative, that I was prideful, that I was egotistical. I think I can keep manipulating them. I'm going to keep doing these things that I'm sure will bother them and break their heart. And the more they do that, the more the people realize, I don't want to be in a relationship with you ever. And they become independent of those people and move on. And then as they're continuing to move on, that's when the other people realize, oh shit, I thought I was kind of doing all this stuff trying to still manipulate and control them. Shit, they've moved on. And they were wasting all that time plotting and planning how to manipulate someone, cause them inner conflict. I'm not going to invest in you. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to apologize to you. And then they realize the person is gone. And it's like, and that's when some of the high vibe people could see the truth that the people who they left behind are the ones in a mental prison. And also some of the people who are left behind who thought they would be so happy aligning with this way of living life, now they're the ones who feel backstabbed and betrayed. Like they sabotaged themselves and they weren't seeing it because their judgment was clouded by their pride and their ego or their immaturity or being full of themselves. Another thing they might not see coming because they don't listen to their intuition. Kind of what goes around comes around, and we reap what we sow. And some of these people are quite shadowy, and they have aligned with being unwilling to listen to their intuition, and they align with all about their ego and their image or their lust or their greed or their pride or their ego. Well, that's who they're investing time, energy, and effort into. And kind of what they align with within yourself is kind of what manifests in your reality. They might have someone coming towards them who'd be happy to be in a relationship with them. But that person also might be someone who lives more from their mind and their heart, who doesn't have their best interests at heart, who might want to really keep moving forward in the relationship because it works for them. It's good for their ego and their image. But if they are more like codependent on the other person for not wanting to like have to go look for a different relationship or something, they might put in a lot of work and effort, maybe subtly, with the Five of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the Two of Pentacles. Just some people are master manipulators. And it's all to work slowly, day by day, on someone's self-esteem to destabilize them. Because they don't want them to ever leave, because they want the things of the world that they have. It works for them. And that's when somebody could see the truth. Wow, I thought this person, I didn't see that. One thing is we can repeat a pattern where if we haven't healed from past pain and heartbreak, I think people will be drawn and attracted to getting in relationships with people who on a subconscious level remind them of those people. Maybe some of these people grew up with people that were very master manipulators and shadowy Leo energy, and they haven't wanted to see the truth of it and didn't want to heal from it, thinking they could just ignore it. Well, it's maybe made them distrustful of loving people and believing in themselves and believing in their dreams. And God wants them to heal from it. So they might get someone who comes into their life that at a certain point in time, could be 10 years in the future from now. Oh my God. Why is this causing me mental conflict? Why is this causing me inner conflict? Why does this person seem to juggle me? Why? Blah, blah, blah. And that's when they're going to realize, like, oh my God, like I married someone who reminds me of my mom or my dad or my first several boyfriends or girlfriends that I had, or, you know, someone who was manipulating me all for ego and image, and I didn't want to see the truth because I was caught up in the ego and the image, and I thought this person really loved me, and which is probably what happened with some of the people they had been in a relationship with. Those people also thought these people were on the same page, and then they get backstabbed and betrayed. Well, that's the thing. If we're not wanting to be in a relationship for love, why are we in it? And if two people get in a relationship and neither one of them are about love, well, why are they in it? Money, ego, image, being indulged. Well, if someone comes along that's got more money, ego, image, power, well, sorry, I'm going to go get in a relationship with them. Or they like to be indulged in their ego. Well, this person seems like they'd indulge me more. I'm leaving. You know? And some of these people might get in a relationship with someone who ends up doing the same thing to them that they had done to other people. And it's all trying to get them to see the truth that we reap what we sow. And if we're not taking action in truth and love and treating other people the way we want to be treated, some of those people are going to leave our life. And we're probably going to get in relationships with some people who are on the same page as us, and we're going to have to learn some hard lessons. So it would be in our best interest to get in the driver's seat, put in work and effort to get balance within ourselves, to love ourselves, to stand up for ourselves, and be motivated and inspired to heal our foundation, reconcile ourselves and heal from the past, to know our worth and value and believe in our dreams, and maintain balance within ourselves so we don't enable poor behavior in ourselves and others, because that's the best way that we have of guaranteeing that we aren't going to have to learn some really hard lessons anymore. So anyway, there you go, Pisces energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.